Good morning. Welcome to
Good morning.
Good morning, Rose. Welcome. And welcome to you in Morning Moments. And our guest, as you already met her, Rose LaRue. She is an actress and a retired police officer from NYPD. And I was just thinking before I interviewed her, NYPD, the New York Police Department, is probably the most filmed on TV and movie police department in the world. And
Yes, it is,
here
yes.
she's a retired officer from that police department, as well as an actress. Welcome, Rose LaRue. Welcome.
Thank you. So nice to be here, Andy.
Uh, just getting to know you and finding out a little bit more about you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us, what do you do and why do you do it?
Well, I'm a retired police officer, and my dream was really always to be an actress. I became a police officer because my father wanted me to. I was actually in an off-Broadway play, and I was mugged and beat up, and my father made me quit that. And my heart always wanted to be an actress, but I did what my father wanted, became a cop, and loved it, don't get me wrong. But somewhere in there was always the desire to be an actress. And then my daughter becomes an actress, singer, dancer, and now she's off to UF college becoming a lawyer. It's like the reverse, and I didn't tell her what to do. So it's like the reverse pattern here. And then I just finally decided, like, I've been in plays here as an adult in Florida and shows, and now I'm just full out. That's what I do, full-time police officer.
You've had such an amazing story, and it's quite, and I hear this quite often. I wanted to do this, but then my paths changed. But later in life, God brought back the original passion. And I remember T.D. Jakes once made the statement: if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will lead you right into your purpose. And I love that saying. And so sometimes our passion, that dream lays dormant for years. And you think, well, you gave it to me once, Lord, and now I do my career. And God tells us it's now time to bring that back up. So it's exciting to see that second chance of bringing back that passion of acting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the best part of it is I told you, the Christian casting, and I've been in 2 Christian films already. And that is like icing on the cake, to be in a Christian film or have anything to do with Christian film on top of it is icing on the cake.
Yes.
And that's what I want to do more and more and more of. And I'm on the Christian casting networks and look forward to more and more of that.
Now, although your acting can overreach what your career was, I see that God's also opened a lot of doors for you to be a security guard or sheriff or police officer, which is great to be able to do that, blend the two together, right?
Right. I was on Bloodline, and I'm in a TV show called Ultimate Invasion, and all the shows where I played a police officer, I was a bodyguard. Yeah, so that was good.
I bet you it's much nicer having a fake gun pointed at you than a real one, right?
Yeah, sure. Your stress levels is a little bit lower, just a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to first, if I haven't mentioned it before, I want to thank you for your service as a police officer. We were talking about sometimes we see people at their worst. And as a retired nurse myself, as a psychiatric nurse, there have been many times that a psychotic patient would be brought in by the police. They take the handcuffs off, and then they're yours, and the police would walk away. And so there's a lot of handoff between nurses and police officers as well, right?
Yes. It's not always a great ending. Or sometimes even in the beginning, the police officers, what they go through with emotionally disturbed individuals.
Yeah.
You're just you're praying the entire time. Please, God, get me through this.
Yes.
You know? And I know even police officers who are not religious become religious because they realize, wow,
Yeah.
I need God.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of people that I like to say I got them to have more faith. And it's a good feeling because, I get to work with people and be with them and then talk to them about why it's a good idea to have God on your side.
Yeah. And it's great to also have that continuum now to use the media, film, and television to share that same message of
Absolutely.
hope and purpose, isn't it?
Right. Yes. We definitely need that, don't we?
That's
Oh,
right.
well.
That's right. So when you talk about faith-based films versus non-faith-based films, it's sometimes folks say, well, why do you do one versus the other? Well, one is you need to work. That's one thing. But two, I think sometimes God puts us in those non-faith-based films for behind the scenes to do exactly what you've been doing,
Yeah,
being
get
that
people.
being that light to the darkness, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It gets people like they see you so happy and like in love with God and loving the fact that you're having this opportunity and praising him all the time. And they start to say, you know what? I'm I'm pretty grateful too. And the light bulb goes off, and next moment they're appreciating him more and more.
Yeah.
So you're being an inspiration to people, even though they're not necessarily Christians, and it opens a door. So God is working through me always, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. And they always say, "Oh, Rose, you're always so happy. You're always so, you know, uh, upbeat." And how could I be like that? It's, well, just get God in your life. Be happy. See the good in everything, and see the positive and the, you know, you'll be a much happier person.
You also was sharing with
Like,
me that God redeemed your heritage when from a heritage that could have been something worse, but
mhm.
God brought back a police officer in your father, and
Yes,
wasn't always like that in your heritage, right?
no, no. Well, my dad pulled through, and he loved God so much. He didn't like the life from his family left, behind, and he walked the path of an honest, honorable man. And that's what path he left for us. He was very involved with the church, my dad. He was always working with the church and volunteering wherever he could. And he worked 3 jobs and he still took Sundays off, no matter what. Sunday was God's day. And we were all involved in the church as kids, grew up Catholic and went through all our sacraments. My father was very proud of us.
It's great to see that heritage. And sometimes people go, well, you don't know my background. You don't know
Mhm.
what my grandfather and others
Yeah,
have done. Doesn't matter.
yeah, no,
God is has a redemptive plan for you. He's going
exactly,
to redeem you
exactly,
from your past.
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
so, I'm so glad God takes us just the way we are.
Me too.
Yep. Now, he loves us enough to not to let us stay that way, but he takes us just the way we are.
Right, right. And he can mold you and make it so that instead of having guilt or anxieties, just release all that. Let it go. Come as you are, he says. Come as you are, and I'll love you anyway, unconditionally.
Yeah.
No other love like that in the world.
In this world of hate and in our in our backgrounds as a nurse and also as a police officer, we've seen, and even looking at the social media today, there's so much hate. In this world of hate, it's hard to understand the God of love. And what overwhelms me about the love of God is that God is not going to love me any more or any less than he does right this moment.
That's right.
And I can't do anything to win his love over, nor can I do anything to lose his love. That's
Exactly.
that's a phenomenal uh, revelation, isn't it?
Exactly. People think, oh, I've done so many bad things. God can't love me. Wrong. God can and will and always will.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's great about it. That you can just let him know you're sorry for everything you've done and you want to be loved and you want to make your life better. He's there 24/7. You don't have to worry.
Well, Rose is well on her way with her next chapter of her life after being a retired police officer. I kind of feel like that in myself after I retired as a nurse. Here's the next chapter for me. I have no idea
Right.
what it's going to be, but you down below, I want you to look at all the credits. There are some of you in the film industry that may want to know how to get a hold of her. Get a hold of her through Facebook or through some of those contacts that she's giving us. Uh, and keep an eye on, she's done some great work, but she's got some projects that's going to be released shortly,
Yep.
and keep an eye on those. And you're doing a TV series too, you're kind of excited about, you're telling me.
Yes, yes. Thank you for being a friend. Well, it's going to the film festival in April. So of course the thing is, and we'll see what's happening with that. It's a spin-off of Golden Girls. And it's some idea that I had and came up with. I was talking with some people that I know, who was a producer and a director, and they loved it. And we just went with it. And now it's really great.
I was saying when we were talking, I says, I could see you as a golden girl. I could see that.
I like doing comedy as well. It's fun.
Good. Well, take a look at what she's done. And more important than that, after this interview is over, I want you to take time and stop and say and pray that God would continue to touch Rose LaRue in that work that she's got. God's got great things in store for her, but I want you to pray that she will be completely led by God and the Holy Spirit of the roles she's supposed to do. Closed doors she's not supposed to go in, and that's what's hard sometimes,
Yeah.
is doors that are closed, but it's closed for a reason. And just pray that God would continue to bless her in this next chapter in her life. Thank you, Rose, for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for Morning Moments. I am so glad that you've made me part of your activity this morning or whenever you're watching us. And thank you for being part of the audience and followers of Morning Moments. And keep on watching and keep coming back. And may God richly bless you.